Are you and your friends bored of Minecraft, but you might still want to play it? Let's spice it up with some commands. This is part 2. Alright, so let's begin. The Sculk Blast is a crossbow that I made. It, oh, I forgot. It does Sculk Blast, or that's what I chose to call it. This command is just for to give the actual crossbow. All these commands, of course, will be in the description. This command here changes the gravity so it flies straight like that, instead of arcing like a normal arrow. And the reason why there's a lot of numbers here is it detects this entity here. Let's real quick see here. It checks all entities that is an arrow, as you can see here, and it makes sure there's only one, because else the command just won't work, and then it checks for the nearest one, so you won't modify the further one array so the closest one doesn't get NoGravity. And then it checks if the owner is me, which this is my UUID, and I'll help you guys figure out how to get your UUID later in the video. But let's run through this first. So what it does first is it executes if my name, the weapon I'm holding is this item, very long item here. Then it runs the command data merge, which is a crazy command. You can do a lot of things. There's a lot of things to do with it. It merges the entity of this arrow, as I just covered, and the data it actually merges or changes is the fact that it has gravity. Alright. Next command, middle one here, just summons the particle, sonic boom, you know, summons that on the arrow, which this part should be about the same, but this is just any arrow right here. Arrow, and then it just owner me. Next one here plays the sonic boom sound over and over again. It kind of doesn't sound quite like the sonic boom. You could probably do something like that, but I think this is good enough. And then it's still all of this is the play sound, and then here you see the run. That's the command it runs afterward. And then it also it runs at this arrow, which again is I'm the owner here, as it says. And it still checks if I have this crossbow in hand. So yeah. Next command, this one over here. Here we have a new tag, in ground. So this one just kills all arrows in the ground if you're holding this thing, so it doesn't like keep making noises and making particles in while which is for lag's sake and for balance sake, I guess. And this thing checks if the distance. This is basically also just primarily for lag reasons, so there aren't just a billion entities out in the stratosphere or whatever. So when the arrow that I am the owner of, it says arrow, you can see here arrow owner, and then if it's further, that's what this 85 ... means. If it's further than 85 blocks away, it just dies, that arrow. And again, this thing also checks if I'm holding this item here. So this is one of my favorites. I've actually used it before. It's very fun. So real quick, let's cut to me showing you guys how to get your UUID. Here at MC Stacker again, the way you get your UUID is you press data merge entity up here, get taken into here, you choose an entity right here that can have an owner. So for example, an arrow, it makes good sense in this. And then out here on the side you can see it says owner. You can look it up because you don't know these numbers. We're trying to find that out. So you can look it up, and then you just paste your name here, and then you get your UUID, and then wait a moment, and it comes out here. You can copy this part and using your commands, and I'll show you how. We are back in the game. Let me show you how to use your UUID. In the first command here, you have to replace this part of it. So from NPT equals, and then you gotta delete this part, or well, I guess you could just, I just recommend you delete here to, let's go over there, to all the way to this, you remember to have the last bracket here, because that closes off the entity that you're trying to do. So if you paste your entity thingy there, yep, and there you have it, and you just do that everywhere where there's a random number. And here is a good case. Here you have to delete these. Wait, here you have to. Oh, Jesus Christ! You have to take these two with you because you're not done here. The square bracket comes at the end here. That has to be kept. So these two have to disappear when you're pasting your thing in, if you copy the entire thing. And the same on the other side here. This bracket and this bracket has to disappear, because when you do commands, if there's a bracket, there is the same type of bracket on the other end when you're done. I can explain more in another video if you guys want to watch that. But yeah, you can just paste in all these where it says, where it asks for UUID, and it's honestly that simple. Anyway, next up we have a Lifesteal Sword. Here I'm using scoreboards again. So let's start by making those. You can start with getting the items actually, which is a Lifesteal Sword. I've just given it Breach 3. I'll show you more about Breach 3 and other cool things in a moment. But here we have a Lifesteal Sword. It doesn't really matter, it just has to be, you just have to make sure that the item you're using for it is the same item when you put it into the different command blocks here. But this is my item, you can just use this, it will be in the description. So let's start with adding the scoreboard, which is this one. Here we do a damage dealt. It's not lifesteal in the lifesteal SMP way, where when you kill something you get another permanent heart, but it's rather you heal from killing stuff. So basically what you do, you add a scoreboard, you just have to run this once, where it is, it's a custom scoreboard. I don't know, it's the way of the way Minecraft splits up different things. But you just run this command once. There's now a new scoreboard, and this thing adds a player to it, which is very important. I'll get to that later. Let's, for the sake of ease of use, let's sidebar this as we did in the last video too. Now we have it inside. So that 300 player is the amount of damage you have to deal, and I'm not sure how it counts, but I know it's to scale where it makes sense. So this command here is what actually does the magic. It gives regen, that's the way you lifesteal in this case. And this command basically, at first it checks your score, if score, my name, on the lifesteal scoreboard is greater or equals, that means even if I get higher than 300, it will still work. And then 300, which is, this is just the player, player number 300, which in this case has 300 score, which makes sense. Also in the lifesteal scoreboard. And then it also checks if my item, my name here, in my weapon main hand, because you can't really hit with a sword and when it's an offhand, is this item, which here is the text custom name, blah blah blah. And then it runs the command effect give me. I'll show you in a moment. And the last command for this one here, it just resets my scoreboard so I can get regeneration multiple times, and so it'll actually work. So let's try to turn it on here. I've prepared a testing subject over here. You can see 59, 118. I don't know why it jumps so hard, but then it dies. So you actually have to do multiple here. But you can see, yep, there, gave me some regen. Let's try it in survival. If you didn't know, breach goes through armor. That's why I'm killing this husk extremely fast. Let's try to get hit a little bit. Yep, hit me. Alright, so let's try to heal. Wait, not quite. There we go. Then I get regeneration 3 for about 4 seconds, which heals you up about 3.5 hearts. So anyway, this sword is really cool. And I've also used this before, I think, actually. Alright, so next thing is some fun command-only enchants. AKA, it's enchants that you can get on other things only. So what I've prepared here is a few swords, some crossbows, and some bows. Hold up, let's see here. So, let's try them out on this over here. The first sword I've prepared is a wind burst and density. I hope you guys know what these do, but basically, when you fall more than density does, so you do more damage the further you fall. Oi. And the other day when I was testing it, wind burst didn't actually want to work, and now there's 2 husks. But it does now, and now there's a lot of husks. So in theory, if I fall from high enough, I should hit 1 hit. But you can't actually do this in normal Minecraft, or at least in survival. So that's just a fun way to use enchants for other things. And I have more funny enchants coming up later. And here Breach just does a lot of damage against armor, like pierces armor in a way. So yeah, very fun to loll around with these things. Before the crossbows, here we have a crossbow. Normally you cannot put neither infinity, power, or punch on a crossbow, and here punch is also a level 5 instead of level 2, because level 2 is normal. So let's go in survival, load this thing up. We don't lose an arrow, so try it on a mob. Yep, we're not losing arrows. That's because it has infinity on it, which is very fun. Right. Anyway, so this thing, flame, is also something you can't put on a crossbow in normal survival, but it does actually work, which is very cool. Wait, does this thing... Wait, hold on. Okay, no, I thought I gave it piercing. Anyway, and here, multi-shot 20. Normal multi-shot is just once, but number 20, if you have multi-shot 20, you make a fan of them out in all directions, which is very fun, very destructive, and you can give this flame and everything. Oh, and I just realized, holy shit, you use a lot of durability. That's fun. So anyway, on to the bows. So bows here. First, I want to show piercing and multi-shot. Here, we're gonna have multi-shot on, even though we normally can't. And piercing 2. Let's go back to our testing subject over here. We just kill all the arrows. Yeah, that's a lot of NCs. Anyway, let's try it here. It has piercing 2, as we can see, which is very fun. So let's see what before with the crossbow. With the crossbow with multi-shot, it made a fan, as we can see. This thing looks like it does the same, but this thing, if you aim just a little bit up, it's more of a fountain kind of thing. It's very fun. This is like, it's unbelievably fun to do with friends, and you can make some crazy OP weapons with this. But yeah, I think that's going to be it for this video. Oh, actually, one last thing. Funny, just a way to use play sound to troll your friends. This command, it plays the creeper primed sound. You know when a creeper is about to explode. Yeah. Anyway, but that is going to be it for this video. I hope you enjoyed, and leave a like. Leave a comment if you want to see me do more of this stuff or something else. And then I hope I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.